Muy bien, así arrancamos. Es esto la fábrica del día de la fecha y así arrancamos el Comité de Careta Radio de este 1 de octubre, donde vamos a hacer, como siempre, arrancamos con esta sección en donde hablamos de la industria de la música, a nuestra manera, como siempre, repensando, redefiniendo, analizando toda esta movida que hace no mucho, 20 años atrás, un poquito más, un poquito menos, necesitabas de containers, de barcos, de aviones, de lo que sea para poder distribuir tu obra de un lado al otro del océano, llevarla de acá para allá. Todo eso ha cambiado, por suerte, por desgracia, no sé, lo vamos a debatir acá en esta columna como cada sábado, y para eso nos nutrimos de diferentes diálogos. Hemos hablado con productores, organizadores de festivales y músicos, siempre músicos y muchos músicos de Italia, de Israel, de Colombia, de México, de Argentina, de todas partes del mundo. Hoy nos vamos a Bélgica, sí, así es, amigos, nos vamos a Bélgica a escuchar y a hablar con los amigos de RG. Es una banda, como acabamos de escuchar, no sabemos si es stoner, no sabemos si es grunge, pero bueno, para eso nos vamos a estar hablando con el baterista de esta hermosa banda, a quien Raúl ya se está comunicando, ya está llamando, se está comunicando ahí, prim. Enseguida nos comunicamos y vamos a hablar un poco de cómo es la movida allá. Se puede tocar gratis, hay que pagar, igual como en todos lados. Nada, y un montón de preguntas más. ¿Qué es stoner? Si es grunge, ¿qué nos dirá? El amigo, que no era Steven, no me acuerdo cómo era.
A ver si a ver si atiende.
Ya.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine too. My name is Manu. I'm gonna leave you with Raúl. They're going to make some weird question, but you're not afraid. Amigo Raúl, ahí te dejo con el amigo de los RG. Arranca nomás, arranca con lo tuyo y vemos dónde termina todo esto.
Okay, thanks for your time and your support.
Yeah, with a lot of pleasure.
Okay.
No problem. We have to thank you guys, actually.
No. We have to thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, we are going to start with the interview. Okay.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Okay. So please tell us your full name. Where are you from, and how old are you?
Well, I'm Steen de Koenen, so that's my name, and I live in Belgium. And I'm 42 right now, so
okay,
still young and fresh.
Me too, I'm the same. Perfect.
Forever young.
Okay. Forever young,
Perfect,
of course.
Perfect.
Bueno, nos dijo que es Stephenson, es un nombre difícil para nosotros. Es de Bélgica y tiene 42 años. So, which is your first memory of you listening to the music, please?
In general music, that's what you mean?
Yes, in general music.
Yes. Well, my first real love for music was actually, I'm afraid to say, but I was like 9 or 10 years old and I discovered Bryan Adams. So I just say it now and now we forget about that. Okay. But then I discovered Metallica and Guns N' Roses, and that was really my first love of music then.
Okay, and the music, how it came through you, through the radio, the TV, your friends, your family?
Family.
Okay.
I have a cousin who is a few years older than me, and he was also a very big Queen fan.
Oh.
So he introduced me into the world of Metallica and Guns N' Roses, like the hard rock kind of thing. Yeah?
Nice. In the 1991 with the Black Album.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Bueno, le pregunté cómo fue su primer encuentro con la música y dijo que, bueno, que fue medio una vergüenza a los 9, 10 años y que no hablemos más de eso, que fue Bryan Adams, y después, bueno, se metió directamente en Metallica y Guns N' Roses. Tiene 42 años, en el 91 nos pegó a todos eso, así que yo me siento también parte de eso. Pero también que tenía un primo un poquito más grande que le enseñó, cuando él estaba en su preadolescencia, a los 9, 10 años, le mostró Queen y el camino al rock un poco más heavy, más duro. And which was your first instrument?
Actually, I started playing the drums, and that is my first and my only instrument.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It was something. A good friend of mine was playing in a metal band, and another friend of mine was playing in a new metal band, and so I got into touch with drumming on rehearsals, and so I started my own drumming actually.
Okay. And who gave you the first drum?
Who gave it to me? Well, I was with my girlfriend and my wife now at the show of our friend, and he was playing the drums, of course, and I was really looking, and I just said, I'm going to buy a drum kit. And the first musician that I spoke to that night was somebody I knew, and I was telling him like, hey, didn't you play the drums? And he said, yeah, but I'm selling it. And I'm just saying like, okay, I'm buying it. And so I had my first kit at that night.
Nice.
It's quite funny.
No, it's nice. So you went to a show and then you buy the drum. It's perfect. So that is nice, really nice.
That's indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bueno, le pregunté cuál fue su primer instrumento. Estábamos hablando con el baterista de Archis y me dijo, bueno, que estaba en un show con su novia, que bueno, actualmente es su esposa, y que él ya, su esposa también tocaba algo de batería, estaba metida en el circuito de la música y que estaban viendo un show y bueno, que él ya medio se había decidido por la batería y fue preguntándoles a amigos y dijo, justo tenía un amigo en ese momento que vendía la batería, así que se la compró, así que buenísimo. Fue un show y salió con una batería terrible. And can you tell us if there are any places to study music for free in your region?
What do you say? Sorry, I don't understand the question.
If there is places to study music for free, if without paying.
Yeah, you can always start by taking some classes or lessons, really learning your instrument and reading music and stuff like that. But unfortunately, we didn't do that. We didn't go that way. I started playing the drums just like trying to play with Black Sabbath, for example. That was one of the first things I tried. And I believe that our guitar player, Wouter, for example, was quite into the Nirvana at a certain period and hardcore music. So everybody was starting just like trying to play the music that we like to hear on the radio or on records or CDs. Cassettes at that time, of course. So we kind of did it ourselves, actually.
Nice. Bueno, le pregunté si había algún lugar para estudiar música gratis en su región y me dijo que sí, que hay lugares, pero ellos son, siempre me olvido la palabra, Manu, ¿cómo se llama cuando aprenden por sí mismos? Son autodidactas, ahí no me sale nunca la palabra. Bueno, que en el caso de él, del guitarrista de la banda, son autodidactas, que se ponían discos encima, por ejemplo, el guitarrista de Nirvana o el de Black Sabbath y ese tipo de cosas, y trataban de tocar encima, así que son gente autodidacta. And can you tell us how was the first time you play in public?
The first time I played in public, that was with my very first band, of course, somewhere in 2003, I think, because I started out in a band very late. Actually, it was a show in a small youth club, as we call it. It's the place where young people come together, have some beers and listen to music. And every once in a while, there's a live show, and we played there for about, I think, 50 or 60 people, something like that.
Nice.
I was nervous as hell. So, I didn't think I would make it till the end of the show because I was so nervous. But yeah, there you go. It worked.
Nice. Bueno, le pregunté cómo fue la primera vez que tocó en público y dijo que fue alrededor del 2003 en lugares, se llama Small Youth Club, que debe ser un bar para gente joven o algo así, que cada tanto hay shows y en el 2003, bueno, fue la primera vez que tocó él. Dice que había más o menos 15 personas y que estaba súper nervioso y que no sabía si iba a poder terminar el show, bueno, pero finalmente lo tocó y salió todo bien y continuó tocando la batería. And how do you feel the first time you play as a drummer? I think that is different, no, from a guitarist or something like the drums the first time. It's like
it's it's difficult to say. I was just glad that I didn't make a lot of mistakes there, and that I was just like solid enough during the set. But it's been quite some time, so. I just remember I was really nervous, but and the feeling, of course, afterwards, the first time you play a show, you're kind of very happy, and you just start to have a party and have some beers and and hang out with friends. So it was something that you really conquered a little bit, as I could explain it.
Nice. You have a big after show. You have a nice after show.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, an after party.
Of course. And you have you think that you have another responsibility, like being the drummer, or not?
If I have another or a bigger responsibility?
No, the same, both questions. Another or a bigger responsibility?
I think the drummer is quite important in a band, because it's considered to be the backbone of the band, together with the bass player.
Of course.
So it's really important that your bandmates can rely on you. Okay, everybody makes a mistake, but if as a drummer you make a big mistake, then you're really fucked, as we say. Because everything is like going into in the drain, as we can say. So drum and bass is the basics of the band, and as long as that backbone is going good, I believe the guitar player, singer, they can do whatever they want.
Of course.
So it's quite important indeed.
Nice. Bueno, le pregunté si tenía si se sentía con otro tipo de responsabilidad comparado con el guitarrista o el cantante como baterista. Es una de las primeras veces, Manu, que hablamos con un baterista, por eso estoy pinchando por ese lado y metió al bajista, así que lo felicito, me encanta lo que dijo. Bueno, que me dijo que realmente él siente que la batería y el bajo son como el backbone, la parte principal de una banda más de rock, ¿no? Y dice que siente alguna responsabilidad, porque si la caga el batero es como que se va toda la mierda, así que bueno, tiene una responsabilidad bastante grande, y bueno, que estaba muy, muy feliz de poder seguir adelante con eso. And can you tell us how did the Archies begin?
Yes, well, it's 9 years ago now that we started with that project. It was our lead singer Wouter who contacted me during the holidays. It was in the summertime, and I was in France, I think. And I had a phone call from him. Years before, we already started to play together in a few projects which didn't really work, but that's music, you start something and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But at that time he called me, said, I got a lot of music in my mind, and I want to play rock and roll, I want to play guitar, sing and drums, and that's it. The two-piece band, and that's what I want, like blues, classic, rock and roll. And so we started off, and in 4 months' time we went into the studio to record a demo. And the first show started in January, like 6 months later or something. And I remember that we didn't even had a full set yet at a certain point, but it really went fast. And the first year we played with two, so me and Wouter, and we did a lot of small rock and roll venues, small festivals, very alternative. And that was a lot of fun. So that was really the beginning of the RGs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice beginning. Sí, bueno, dice que le pregunté cómo empezó la banda, y dice que fue hace 9 años atrás con el cantante guitarrista líder, y que ya habían tocado un poquito, bueno, pero dice que hay veces que la música, hay bandas que funcionan y hay bandas que no funcionan, así que después de un tiempo grabaron un demo y 6 meses después ya empezaron a tocar en un montón de lugares sin tener un set completamente hecho, y eran un dúo, así que empezaron como un dúo, bueno, y después arrancaron a tocar como ya está establecida la banda. And why did you put that name, The Archies? What does it mean?
Oh, well, that's a wellguard secret. I'm afraid that if I tell you this, I will have to hunt you down. And no, I'm kidding.
Okay.
It's actually our lead singer Wouter. He already started an acoustic rock band with a friend, and that was called Mr. Van, because his name is Wouter Van Dalen. Mr. Van and the RG's, and that was his friend's initials. And he thought that it really sounded well, and he wanted to keep it. So he actually asked his friend if it was okay if he could use those initials. Okay. And of course, and luckily, he said it was fine. So the RGs were born.
Okay.
It's just simple as that. It's not really rock and roll.
No, thanks to share the secret. Thanks for that. Y bueno, no, le pregunté por qué se llaman los RGs, The Archies, y me dijo, bueno, que es un secreto que te voy a tener que matar si te lo digo, pero bueno, hubo calma, no pasó nada, y nos contó que el cantante tenía una banda acústica con otro amigo y Mr. Van and the Archies, porque Archies era las siglas del nombre de la otra persona, y bueno, cuando decidieron separarse y continuar con otro proyecto del cantante, con el que tienen ahora, le preguntó si podían quedarse con The Archies y dijo que sí, que estaba todo bien, así que dice que no es un nombre muy rockero ni nada, que la historia es así, y bueno, le quedó The Archies, que son las siglas del nombre del otro compañero de la otra banda que tenían antes. And in 2015...
Pará.
¿Viene un ritmo? Sí, perdón, Manu.
Hay que preguntar acá el género, es acá.
Bueno, el timing, perfecto.
Es acá. ¿Es stoner o grunge?
Sí,
no le pregunté otra cosa, preguntarle stoner o grunge.
Está bien. We have a fight with Manu because we want to know if the band is grunge or stoner.
Actually, we consider it mostly to be noise rock with post-punk vibe. I know that a lot of people are putting labels on it, and it's always really difficult. If people ask you, Van, what kind of music do you play? The worst question you can ask is like, yeah, with what famous band would you be compared to? And I really don't like that, because that's really difficult. But I think that noise rock post-punk is slightly better suiting than stoner is kind of differently. Grunge, we cannot say that we are not from the grunge era, of course, but I think it's grown. It's grown into more noisy post-punk rock. It's definitely live. Live, we are quite explosive, actually.
Nice. We are smiling. We are laughing. Manu and me. Thanks for the answer. Nice. Perfecto. Nos cerró la boca, Manu. Por lo menos a mí me cerró la boca. Muy bueno.
Sí, pero era por ahí.
Era por ahí. Sí. Bueno, le preguntamos por el género. Manu y yo teníamos una discusión en el principio del programa si era grunge o era stoner, y nos contestó el baterista sí, que es noise y post-punk, y dice que no le gusta mucho a él cuando le preguntan, ¿no? Que es medio complicado definir la banda, así que bueno, ellos van más por el lado de noise y post-punk. Perfecto.
Noise rock.
Sí, no voy a seguir con la discusión de los géneros, está muy bien.
Listo,
está. In 2015 you released your first album. Can you tell us how was the way through that first album?
Actually, being with a two-piece band, we already started to write after the demo tracks. We started to write new songs for the first record. But at a certain point, Wouter had the feeling that when he only could play guitar and sing at the same time, he really had to focus a lot on one or the other. So we decided to get a bass player. And my good friend I've been playing with Jens since 2008 in different kind of bands. So I asked him to join us as a bass player, and immediately we started writing material, and we went into the studio after 3 months, I think, and we recorded it in 3 days. Wow. So about 10 songs. Wow. But that was more considered to be grunge rock, blues, classic rock. We cannot say that today. It's different. We were writing a different kind of music at that time. We were very pleased with the results we had, because the first record made us play a lot and gave us a lot of shows. But if we compare it with the third album, it's a gigantic difference.
Nice. Perfecto. Bueno, le pregunté, en el 2015 sacaron su primer disco y le pregunté cómo fue el camino al primer disco, y nos dijo que, bueno, eran un dúo y que al guitarrista y al cantante se le hacía muy difícil. No difícil, sino que quería abarcar un poco más de cosas y dejar de pensar en todo. Y bueno, metieron ahí a un bajista. Entró un bajista que era muy amigo de él, y empezaron a escribir más canciones, se metieron en el estudio y en 3 días nada más grabaron 10 canciones, así que así les quedó, y ese fue un poco el camino. Ahí fue cuando arrancaron, dejaron de ser dúo y se metieron como trío ya en el estudio, y cambió un montón la banda. In 2017, you released your second album, The Cricket Sound.
Yeah.
Can you tell us why you
Yes,
put that name, The Cricket Sound?
Well, the cricket sound was a little bit compared to what you can hear in your own head. I think if you play music and you go to lots of shows, your ears never really sleep anymore. So you got a constant sound in your head, a ringing sound or knispering sound. And we kind of pronounced it as being a cricket sound in your own head. So it's ear damage in a way.
Wow.
And in another way, it's also meant to be like, the pressure and the difficulties you encounter in life and in society. If you would look at the cover of our second album, you can see it's a really depressed kind of walking man through the streets with a lot of dark places. And there is cricket's blood combined, like floating out of his head. So it's a little bit the worries of life, everything put together in one simple title, actually.
Wow, nice. The sounds in your head. Sometimes they are good and sometimes they are bad. Nice to know that.
Yeah.
Le pregunté en el 2017 sacaron otro disco que se llama Cricket Sound y le pregunté por qué, ruidos de grillos. Me dijo, bueno, que después de estar por todos lados escuchando música, parece que son bastante fanáticos de la música, tienen como un sonido, es el famoso tinnitus, el tinnitus también ese claro, insoportable, bueno, que les queda sonidos en la cabeza y, bueno, haciendo referencia a ese sonido que les queda en la cabeza después de haber escuchado tanta música, le pusieron Cricket Sound y que también refiere a las dificultades que hay en el día a día, en la vida, todo. Dice que, bueno, en la tapa del disco hay un tipo caminando que parece bastante depresivo y con grillos, la sangre de grillo, todo, y mezclan todo, hacen un collage ahí en la tapa y explicó súper bien, sí, muy bueno el concepto del disco. And in the Cricket Sound you work with a producer, Brett Bannister.
Yes.
See, and in your latest album, in Your Head as a Stick, you work with Dominic, no? Another producer.
Yeah, yes.
How do you decide
indeed.
to work with the producers? Why you decide to work with the producers? Mm-hmm.
Well, working with a producer is always a little bit better because if you write music with 3 or 4 persons or 5 persons, I mean, as a band, you kind of write in your own comfort zone sometimes. Even though you say like, okay, we're going to write differently and we're going to expand more, etc., you're still captured a little bit in your own circle. When you work with a producer, you have somebody who can actually pull it out of the circle and like put it on the table and say like, okay, this is good, but why the fuck do you do that before? So you can do it like this, you can do it like that. And he gives a totally different kind of insight in your own music. And that's really interesting. Wow. As a band. And the first time we worked with Brent van Ester, Brent is actually somebody who's pretty famous in our small country here and even in Germany and Holland. He's playing with the band Steak. And we know him already when he was a really young kid, and we followed him from the beginning. So we always had a lot of respect.
Wow.
And the funny part is that at a certain time we were actually in a meeting in a pub while having a few beers, talking about, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to write our new songs? How are we going to record it? Where are we going to do that, etc.? And all of a sudden, Brent just stands there next to us, saying like, hey guys, long time no seeing. And actually, 1 hour later, we left knowing that he would produce our records. So that was like unexpected.
Wow, nice. But
and yeah.
No, you are always with musicians and or playing or hearing, listening to music. That is nice. That is a really nice life. We celebrate that.
Yeah, we try to.
Nice, really nice.
And with Dominic was actually more of a choice. But more of a choice. We kind of talked about it with the band, like, okay, with who are we going to work with? And Dominic's name came up. And quite accidentally, he also reached out to us because it was the beginning of Corona time, COVID, and he was not really having a lot of work because he really works only for music. he wanted to do some remixes of our records, and in that way we already started talking about, okay, we'll make a new record, what do you think? And at that time he just had a new studio started up, so he said like, okay, let's do it at my place, we'll do it in the studio, and the rest is a little bit of history.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Nice story.
That's how it went.
Bueno, le pregunté por el tema de los productores, porque trabajaron con dos productores bastante importantes y cómo los elegían y si ellos se sentían cómodos, ¿no?, trabajando con productores, y dijo que sí. Buenísima la respuesta, porque dice que cuando uno está componiendo música o preparando algo para un disco, es como que siempre estás en tu zona de confort, o sea, quiero hacer esto, y quizás terminás tocando lo que vos sentís que es cómodo, y cuando viene una persona desde afuera te trae conceptos nuevos, te abre un poco la cabeza, el panorama para hacer diferentes cosas, y ellos son bastante receptivos a eso, a escuchar propuestas de los demás, así que estaban súper cómodos trabajando con productores. Y dice que la primera vez que trabajaron con un productor se llama Brent Valente, que es bastante conocido en Bélgica y en Alemania, que toca con The Stakes, y que bueno, estaban teniendo una conversación en un bar y dio la casualidad, ellos ya lo conocían desde hace un tiempo, y dio la casualidad que estaba en ese bar, y bueno, le empezaron a hablar y terminó produciendo un disco. Y el último disco que lo produjo Dominic Head, que es de Kinkies, me parece que se llama la banda, y aparte es productor. Eso fue buscado, ellos fueron a intentar hablar con él y que les produzca el disco, y fue justo para la época del coronavirus, y este productor estaba con poco trabajo, así que bueno, finalmente aceptó trabajar con ellos, y dio la casualidad también que justo había abierto un nuevo estudio, y bueno, empezaron a trabajar con ellos en el nuevo estudio, y bueno, salió un discazo, que uno de los temas ya lo escuchamos, y vamos a cerrar la entrevista escuchando otro. Espectacular. A vos también, ¿no, Manu? ¿Te gustó mucho?
Sí, y quiero hablar sobre, en algún momento antes, sobre Slave Patrol, porque tiene una forma, pero bueno, me lo voy a animar un poquitito al inglés, Raúl.
Dale.
You have a very unique and 19, if you want to say, style on the drum. What is your favorite drummer, the one who blow your mind?
Oh, okay. I think I will have to say that's John Bonham of Led Zeppelin. Okay. If you really would say like who's my big example, that's John Bonham, definitely.
Nice.
The way he can play, the way he uses techniques, I will never be half as good as that guy, and I can live with that.
Wow.
But I'm really triggered about him. Even playing with his bare hands on his drum kit and stuff like that. I mean. He's an icon. A big loss in the 80s when he died, but all the big ones and the great ones, they a little bit early, don't they? So yeah, that's my big example.
Wow. And during the 90s?
Well, then I have to say Dave Grohl, of course. Which is a logical choice if you come from John Bonham. If you compare the style of Dave Grohl, especially when he was in the Queens of the Stone Age and them Crooked Vultures, yeah, he's definitely bitten by John Bonham. That's just it. In his Nirvana period, it was a kind of different style of drumming. He was very solid, but he didn't really use that a lot of shows and triplets and stuff like that. So but Dave Grohl is definitely the 90s, 2000s. That's one of the best drummers, definitely. Yeah.
And actually, during these years?
Oh, well, that's a difficult thing to say, actually. I think I live a little bit in the past.
No.
I couldn't really say. There are, of course, a lot of great drummers, but the recent bands or something, I don't know. No.
You know Mastodon, Duplantier from Mastodon.
I know them, of course.
Maybe
yes,
him.
Yes, of course.
He's an artist player.
Yeah, it's not really what I listen to, actually. So personally, I listen a lot to real stoner records. So that's the fun part of the RGs also, because we have all a kind of different style of music. We can find each other, of course. We can understand. We can appreciate the music that every single band member likes. But we all have our different accents, and to me that's more stoner rock and roll, like 1000 Mods, for example, Black Rainbows, Brand Bjork, of course, Caius, Fu Manchu, etc., etc. So those are the kind of bands that I'm really into.
Nice, really nice.
I like to recommend to you Walter Broide of Los Natas. He's an Argentinian drummer, stoner drummer. And it's excellent if you want to hear something about Argentina.
Yeah, okay.
No, then we send you the link from the Natas and Poseidotica and some stoner and
definitely.
To finish the interview, we're gonna play Slave Patrol.
Yes.
I wanna talk about the beginning of the song. It's that blow my mind. How you compose that?
We started writing. It's one of the few songs that we really wrote for a great part. Before we went into the studio. In the studio, we kind of recreated it a little bit. But the fun fact is that the drums, actually, for me, I did it in one take. Because we were having recordings all day. I was really, really tired. So after that day, I just went up to the studio and had a drink. And Dominic said to me, okay, tomorrow morning we'll start with Slave Patrol. I said, okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Oh, you know what? It's still early. Why don't you just go down there now in the studio again and just start playing it? We'll see what we can do. And I just played the first part in one time and just on click, and we never touched it. So it's only the second part after the screen that we researched a little bit. But the whole first part is a one-taker. And the last part, when we said like, okay, we're going to do it like this, I just played again and we recorded it and it was done.
Wow. Congratulations.
So, yeah.
Congratulations.
That's the first time that I really had that.
Don't you get tired? And don't you get tired of playing it live because dun.
Yeah, it's really, yes. It's the last song of our set usually. So, but I'm getting used to it. But I must admit that my legs, I just use one pedal, so I don't use like double pedal and stuff like that. So it's really dun. It's constant, and I need to be very strict and correct. You know, I cannot float. It must be really hard and straight to the bone. So. But I must say that song gives so much energy as playing it, and also the crowd is also usually very wild or enthusiastic. So that comes back, you know, that energy. You take it back and you just translate it into drum. Nice. So yeah, but it's a hard one to play live.
I imagine that in live you have to play it with the first songs. No, because later you get tired.
Yeah, it sometimes would be better, but if you look at the show and at the set list, it's just perfect to end the show with.
Nice.
Because it's really good. We usually play Now Your Head on a Stick, and then we go through to Slave Patrol. We let it flow, bass, drums. We all make chaos, and then we start playing the song. And at the end of it, we just we in a way, we trash the place a bit. In a way, yeah?
You have to destroy the place.
We cannot afford to trash. We cannot afford trashing our gear, of course.
Of course, no. Perfect. Rock and roll.
Bueno, no le preguntemos cuando terminemos la nota, no le preguntemos nada de la canción porque ya sabemos todo.
Muy buena, igual, bien, muy buena. El timing, Manu, muy bueno. Quería resumir un poco la respuesta que dio en inglés. Le preguntamos primero por sus bateristas favoritos y bueno, habló de John Bonham directamente, que fue una gran pérdida de los 80. Después habló de Dave Grohl. Dice que no escucha mucha música nueva, que él escucha más Caius, cosas así de noventosas, ochentosas. Habló un montón de bandas de los 90, de Stoner, que escucha mucho Stoner. Y también lo que me pareció súper importante que dijo cuando él hablaba de la batería, que todos los miembros de las bandas tienen como distintos acentos, que escuchan cosas muy, muy, muy diferentes, pero igualmente, bueno, se encuentran y arman lo que tocar, man. Después le preguntamos por Slave Patrol, que es la canción que vamos a escuchar para terminar, y Manu le preguntó cómo era tocarla, porque era súper difícil, y cómo la compusieron. Y dijo que bueno, que salió en el estudio, y que le salió de primera toma tocarlo, así que estaba súper contento de que le salió con toda la fuerza, y que generalmente Manu le preguntó también si la tocaban al principio para no cansarse. Y no, que es una canción con la que generalmente cierran los shows, y que no se cansa.
Para terminar bien arriba.
Sí, exactamente, para terminar bien arriba, y que dice que la energía también que le transmite la gente cuando tocan sus shows, parece que los shows son bastante rockeros, Manu. Que la energía...
debe ser una locura.
Sí, bastante
Estaría
descontrolado.
muy bueno.
Y dice que la energía que le transmite la gente le carga las pilas, así que no tiene problema para cansarse. Si te parece, le preguntamos por el servicio de streaming, a dónde podemos encontrar la música.
Sí, vamos por ahí,
vamos por ahí.
Y cerremos porque ya nos dijo todo.
Sí, increíble. Muy bueno. We really like to talk with you. You have nice answers and you love music, and we too love music. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, guys.
No, and just for finishing the interview, we want to know what you think about the social medias and the streaming services.
What I think about social media streaming services. I think it's really important to use the social medias. It's not really something you can, how do you say that? You can't think it's there. It's just there. You have to use it. Otherwise, you just get lost. Luckily, we have a good friend that always comes with us to shows, and he can really make some great pictures and stuff. So we always have something to share that it's worth to see, you know. The streaming services, of course, our record is available on Spotify, Deezer, and stuff like that. But we work with the Polder Records. That's a label, and he takes care of that. So we don't really have to do that. So we just hope that we can still sell like the vinyl, the LPs, and the CDs, and we even have it on cassette right now. So it would be fun if we still can sell the music as it is, you know. But the big advantage, of course, of the streaming service is you can listen to it worldwide, and that's a big advantage. So like you guys, you discovered us. I think in the 90s that would have been very difficult.
Of course, of course, nice. Bueno, le preguntamos por los servicios de streaming y las social medias, y dice que es un lugar en donde hay que estar si no te perdés, y que bueno, ya le vamos a mandar un saludo muy grande a la gente de Polder Records. Qué buen sello, muy buenas bandas. Estamos haciendo autobombo de vuelta, pero la verdad que tiene unas bandas excelentes. Y dice, bueno, que para la parte más de fotos, videos, todo eso, tienen un amigo que va a los shows, y que les maneja un poco toda la parte visual. Y bueno, que la parte más de hacer discos y mandar a hacer discos y toda esa parte se la maneja Polder Records, que tuvimos contacto con esa gente, es excelente, tienen muy buenas bandas, y así que están bastante tranquilos con todo, con lo que refiere a todo eso. Un lujo, la verdad. Thank you very much for being with us. We really like to talk with you because you love music, man. That is really important.
Yes, and I enjoy talking to you guys, really. Thank you so much for your support.
No, thanks. Manu, ¿algo para cerrar?
No, yo quiero escuchar Snow, Patrol y meterle para adelante.
We are going to play music. That is important.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Slave Patrol.
Okay.
Esta canción, amigos, se llama Slave Patrol y la rompe toda.